There we go. Okay, I've got the recording back on. Okay, so this is the presentation screen. We'll play around with that in a little bit. You can see we have a chat area here, so you can, you and your students can chat back and forth. You can minimize this so it's not sticking out there just by clicking on the arrow and then click on this to bring it back. There are some options. Once maybe you're done with your session, you might want to save your chat. You can save it, you can copy it, and you can also clear the area. So that's the chat area. There's also shared notes, so you can share things in here. I'm not sure what, just probably similar to chat, but maybe something a little more detailed. You have a rich text editor here with some options, and then once you're done with this, you can export this to either an HTML or a plain text file. So you'll have that after the session. In the users area, you can see that I'm the presenter and this is my student. The gear allows you to mute everyone if you like, everyone except the presenter. You can save the usernames, which might be nice for attendance if you're looking for attendance, and you can lock users. There's also an option within Big Blue Button to create breakout rooms. So, if you have a large class and you want them to do some group work together, you can create some breakout rooms for them to work in. So if you click on that, how many rooms do you want? How long do you want them to have? You can click this to allow them to choose their own breakout room to join, or you can assign them if you'd like. So let's put Patty over here. I've got room 1, 2, 3. You would just, drag your students into the groups into the rooms you want them to use. And I guess there is also an option to randomly assign, so you can click that and probably just, move them around wherever you want them. If you want it to be longer or shorter, this is where you would set the time limit, etc. So that's how you would create the breakout rooms. Okay. Each, if you click on each student, it gives you some options as well. You can start a private chat, make them the presenter. You can remove them if they're misbehaving, maybe, I don't know, or promote them to moderator. There's also an option as yourself, you can change your status. So say, you're, especially for a student, they're confused, they can change their status to confused, and maybe you can see that. This also allows you to unmute and mute the user as well. Okay. As you can see here on the bottom, there's slide 1, and then there's a number of whiteboards on here as well for you to use. So you can go to the whiteboard, and on that whiteboard, you can use these annotation tools on the right-hand side. And actually, you can use these on the other presentation screen as well, but we'll look at it on the whiteboard. You have options to add text to the whiteboard. And then you can also draw different things. So if you want to draw a circle, and maybe you want it to be blue, we'll make this bigger, and we can draw a circle. Also, there's a pencil to draw freehand as well. If you use this icon at the bottom, this turns it into multi-user whiteboard. So now if I go to my student can draw as well. So let's see. So there's my student drawing something. This is the pans to pan around the screen. So if you maximize it or expand it, you can use the hand to move around the screen now. This tool just undoes the last annotation you did, and the garbage can will delete everything except what the student has drawn. The student will have to clear their own. So there's some of the annotation tools on the whiteboard. Okay. If you have any questions, you can use the chat area, or if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, that's fine as well. Okay, so the next part is the presentation window, which basically we'll go back to this. As I said, this is the presentation window. There are a few options that you can do on this window using this plus on the bottom, the action button. It does have the option to start a poll. So if you're, asking questions and or if you have maybe a PowerPoint up that has a question with multiple choice answers, whatever, you can use this. If you click on the option, the student will see in the bottom right hand corner a little box pop up that says polling options. And right now it has 3 buttons on it. It has A, B, and C because I chose the A, B, and C. So if the student clicks, you'll see their response come up here. Can we load images into the whiteboard for students to interact with? You can add presentations to the main screen that I think we'll look at that in a second. That may answer your question for you. Can we use images in polling too? I would think that my idea of what you would maybe use is, like I said, if you have a PowerPoint and you're going through the PowerPoint and you have questions in there that you were asking, you could put the images in the PowerPoint. Okay, once we've done the polling part, and then you would just publish the poll. It'll give you the response in the bottom right-hand corner, and the student will see the same thing. So you can use the polling. Another option under here is to upload a presentation. This is where you might want to do the PowerPoint. I don't have a PowerPoint available, but I can show you a little bit of what it will look like. So let me go back a second. See, I had something ready to go and it seems to be gone now. So let me see if I can find it again. Okay, here we go. You can simply drag the file in or browse from the computer. Once it's there, you have to upload it, which takes a second. And that's one reason I didn't want to use too big of a PowerPoint, because I didn't want something that was going to take too long to load. So now we've got this presentation uploaded. At this point, you can use your drawing tools again, and the student can the student, let's see. I think if I do this, make it a whiteboard, there we go. So now the student is able to also interact on that presentation that you have loaded. Okay. You also can share a video as well. Let me see. Okay, so if you go to YouTube and get the URL, you can put that right in here, and then you can share that video with them as well. So those are the three options under here. It doesn't look like with the video you can use your drawing annotations at all, but with the presentation you can. Okay. A couple other things on this page. Let me see. Down here, of course, on the bottom, we've got the mute and unmute. This one is to leave the audio completely. Video, if you want to start a webcam, and this is to share your screen. So again, we can share a screen on here. This is going to look a little crazy because I'm in another within Zoom. So let's see what happens. It usually comes up kind of nuts looking. Oh. Come on. Well, it didn't take this long loading earlier. It might be because I'm working both in Zoom and Big Blue Button. But it will work the same way Zoom does. It'll bring your shared screen up here so that you can share it with your student. I'm going to stop that, maybe. Okay, well, it's not liking that. So give me a second and see if I can get this to go away.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
Okay. I think I may have to stop, see if I can stop this and come back into it. Hang on one second. Okay. All right, I have to start a whole new one because I think if I go back in and rejoin it, it's just going to go right back to where I was at. So. Okay. Okay, so we're back here. So that will work though. I think it's just because I'm in two conferences at the same time. It's probably a little bit of bandwidth issues. So, okay, so let's see what else we need to look at. Down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we also have zoom in, zoom out, fit to width. So you can, let me minimize that again. You can fit to width, or you can go full screen as well if you like. And then also up here under options, we have the option to go full screen here. Some settings, about, help, keyboard. The settings option, there are a few things in here to look at if you are interested and need to make some adjustments. You can set these alerts to let you know if somebody has popped into the chat or into the join. You can change the language if you need to. Also down here, you can change your font size if you need it to be a little larger. And then there is an option for data savings as well. If you're concerned about bandwidth as you're doing your conference. So those are the settings. The keyboard shortcuts just shows you, what shortcuts there are to maneuver through the conferencing software. If you are a person that prefers to use a keyboard, which some people are like that. And then, of course, end meeting and log out. So that's basically Big Blue Button in a quick little summary, I guess. If if you're interested in using it with your students to be able to show them something, or if you like to do conferencing with them once a week, which is kind of difficult to get everybody in there at the same time, but there's some different options you can do that. Does anybody have any questions about Big Blue Button? Anything else I can show you in here? Okay. Dave's asking about reasonable accommodation. Are you speaking about in Big Blue Button or in the course itself where you're making accommodations for assignments? Okay, all right. I'll get to that in a minute. How to prepare the students to participate in this? As I said, when you create this and you invite the students, it will send them an email for an invitation. If you plan to use it, and it'd be a good idea I'll probably also send them an announcement and maybe do something in their inbox to let them know it's coming up, that kind of thing. They will, when they go to conferences, on their side, they'll see the join button just like we have here. So they would just have to click the join button to join the session. Okay. If there's no other questions on the Big Blue Button, I will log out of here and we'll go look at accommodations on an assignment. Okay. I'm going to end the meeting. You can actually do a little survey with them, I guess, when you're done. All right, so if we go back to the web conferencing, we can now end this. And it will pop up down here in your concluded conferences. If you did record it, I think it takes a little bit of time for it to get all completed before it'll pop up here, but it will be here. So, and as I said, I believe it was 90 days. After 90 days, these do disappear. So, don't be alarmed if you're using it and they're going away. And if you do want to keep the recording, make sure you download it for yourself. Is there a link, like a quick how to use Big Blue Button? I'm not sure, but let's see. If we go to the student guides, there is an area in the student guides for conferences. So basically what I did was I went to help. The students have this link, search for the Student Canvas Guides, which will bring them here. And there's a section on conferences for them. Okay. All right, somebody asked about accommodations. So if you all right, you would get a letter from the student about the accommodations, and to set accommodations in an assignment, the letter that you get from the student should tell you what the accommodation is, whether they need extra time on a test, they need extra time on assignments, that kind of thing. For an assignment, you would just click on the assignment, go to edit, And then scroll to the bottom. And we've actually here set an accommodation for my Patty Canvas person. I'm going to delete that so I can show you how to do it. And we kind of went over this last week a little bit. Some people, when you want to give extra time or for one individual student, I believe you were going right here and doing it and deleting this, and then everybody else disappears out of your gradebook. So what you need to do is click the Add button and pick the student. And then once you do that, you can set a new due date for them. So this one was January 19th. If your student needs 2 extra days to do the assignment, you could set this to January 21st. So that's how you would set the accommodation for an assignment. Then you would save it. Now make sure you still have your everyone else and then your individual students so that they all show up for everybody.
Okay, thanks, Patty, because that's
Sure.
actually what I did. I went through I deleted the everyone else, and then I just had to just basically extend the assignment for everyone else because I couldn't figure it out. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. To do it on a quiz, if you're extending a quiz by, I'm not sure I have a timed one on here, but to do, yeah, I do. This one has a time limit. So if a student needs like double time on a quiz, you would go to moderate this quiz, find your student and edit here. And then you can give another attempt, or if they need extra time, then you would give them the extra time here. So that's how you would do a quiz. Okay. Can you add a student without accommodation that needs extra time for a legitimate excuse for being absent? Yes, you can do that. You can do that as well. And you would do it the same way. Okay. Any other questions today? I will put the attendance link in here. Oops, that's not it. Hang on one second. One more time for you, in case anybody missed it. Okay, there's the attendance link. If there's not any other questions, that's all I have for today. Next week, we'll be having a question and answer session with a representative from Canvas about the studio program, the studio option, which is a recording and a place to put your videos and that kind of thing. So, and it's at, I believe, 10 o'clock. We'll make sure we get that out for you next week. So hope everyone has a great weekend. Okay, so in the speed grader, can you change the size of the screen using the rubric to grade? I'm not sure about that, and I'm not sure if I have a rubric in here. Let me see. Probably the only thing you could do is maybe do Control+ to make your entire screen larger. Like that. Or do you mean, I don't think there's a way to, sorry, like drag this over. No.
I've encountered that, and I've been able to just go ahead and pull the pane over to the side a little bit to the left, and you'll be able to see your assignment and the rubric at the same time.
You can pull it over?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Patty, I've sent you a lot of emails about this rubric. This is Dave.
All right. Yeah, that was a blonde moment, not thinking to do that. Okay. Okay, guys, have a good day, good weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Patty.
Bye, Patty.
Bye.
Bye now.